What's up, Vikings? This is Kaiser the Sneak, and I have a really awesome video for you today. It is the complete Dreadfall Maze speedrun saga, and I actually was planning on doing this a little bit later, as I normally try to upload a video once a week or something along that lines. But I wanted to get this out now for two reasons. The first reason is that even though Dreadfall isn't over yet, I'm not really planning on doing any more speedruns on the maze. I'm happy with the time I got, and yeah, I'm just not really willing to put any more effort and time into this. And the second one being that I got a ton of comments on my last video for the Dreadfall maze, and people were asking, how are you doing it? And then comparing their time. So I just kind of want to show you this video. It showed you how I got it done, and hopefully that'll help all of you guys. Also, in connection with that, my video about the Dreadfall maze just literally blew up. I got I think the biggest video I had before that one was 300 views and maybe 10 likes or so. But this one got over 60 likes, 1,500 views. I mean, it just blew up. It blew my analytics out of the water. So very, very thankful to all of you guys. In fact, I said I'd do a face reveal if I get 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I didn't actually think that was gonna happen. But now I'm kind of scared because I got nearing 60 subscribers, so I'm kind of scared now that we're actually gonna reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm actually gonna have to do a face reveal. So if that happens, I'm still committed to doing it, but I definitely subscribe and like if you haven't already. All right, and let's get into this video. Okay, so this first run here was my first ever run of the Dreadfall maze, and this was basically I was just learning the tropes. I think this is sped up to 1,000%. Just because it took me forever to figure this out. I had no idea what I was doing. The interesting thing to note here was this is the first and only time I really ran the maze with the old pumpkin sprayer mist things. They had only a few blocks, and you had to carefully cross the chicken along the diagonal, which was super difficult, and avoiding all that green gas coming out of the pumpkins. So yeah, the first time super difficult. I'm sort of glad they changed it in one aspect. But in the other aspect, I'm really disappointed because that made it so much more difficult and challenging. And now it's a lot easier for people to do it, which makes it a little bit less special. But I mean, on the flip side, it is easier, so I don't know. I'm kind of torn about that. Also, the what I call the rush hour puzzle after a famous game that I used to play, and it's very similar to this. It took me a while to figure out what I was doing. Actually, it went a lot easier than I thought it was, but this puzzle in particular takes a while if you don't know what you're doing and you're not efficient with how you're moving the pieces. And so I really didn't know what I was doing, and I just kind of screwed it up. And then Roughnut's maze was more of the same. I had no idea where I was going, what I was doing, so it took a long time to get through there. Parkour was probably the easiest part, to be honest. That was something I was used to, and they've done very similar in a lot of different mazes, so that was something I was used to. The next one was the first real time that I actually timed myself and was actually really trying to breeze through there. And I did a technique which I don't recommend, which was going through the Roughnut's part of the maze first. And the reason why I don't recommend that is because it's the easiest part. So when you get to Toughnut's part, and if you screw that up, then you have to start all the way over again. Whereas if you start on Toughnut's part and you screw it up, you just have to start over a little bit. You don't have to redo all of your work. So that's why I recommend definitely doing Toughnut's part first, but that's what I did. And then over here, yeah, changed it so there was still the green gas spewing pumpkins, but the little grates there was much easier to traverse. Not much to say about this. 7 minutes, 11 seconds is nothing to sneeze at. That's actually a pretty good time, to be honest. But that was just sort of me kind of getting used to what puzzle pieces to move and how to do it. All right, so next, I was just on the School of Dragons unofficial Discord. So this person on the Discord forum posted a time that was actually pretty good. And I was like, I think I can beat that, because my last time was 7:11, and there's plenty of ways I could have improved. So I was like, I'm definitely going to try to beat this. Even though it wasn't even for me, but I'm just competitive in my nature, and this seemed like something I could do. So this maze run, quite a bit like the last, I just was a little faster on the chickens, a little faster on the puzzle mainly. And about this point, I started mapping the maze. I don't remember exactly what time I mapped the maze, but I started mapping I mapped the maze. I just went through and mapped the maze, and I practiced like 1 or 2 times to get it straight. But then I knew exactly where I was supposed to be going near the maze, so it made it a little bit easier. So then I posted my time. I had shaved off 2 seconds from Sakura's time, and I was feeling pretty good. I was like, yeah, that's not a bad time. I'm doing pretty good. And Rosalie was like, oh my goodness, you beat that. And I was like, yeah, I did. But then Sakura beat my time by like, what is that, 7 seconds? And I was like, no. So I don't know, probably like 20 or so maze attempts later, I got this run. Which was quite a bit better, to be honest. I really, I practiced, I did it so many times, I could literally do the chickens in my sleep. And of course the pumpkins had been removed, so that increased my time tremendously as well. And then I had also mapped exactly what, or not quite perfectly, but I'd pretty much gotten the exact number of moves and how to push the blocks here to really capitalize on the time that I needed to do this. So this was a really good time. So, there it is, 640, not too shabby. In fact, that was better than last year's Dreadfall maze run, which I don't remember how much harder it was. When I first started the maze this year, I thought it was going to be harder. And my first times indicated it was harder. But then I beat my time from the last maze last year, which was completely different. And so I was like, I wonder if this is easier, I'm just doing better, I don't know. So I posted that. I was feeling pretty good about myself once again, but then of course I was blown out of the water by 8 seconds. Rosalie took down my time. So then I did it again, and I got it just a little bit better, which was pretty good. So then after that, the other people in Discord didn't really post any more times, but I was like committed. I was like, I bet there's gotta be a way to do this. There's gotta be a way I can pull this off. So I ran it again this time. This is only double the speed of what I normally do it in, and I was very happy with my time here, but I was just like pushing it all together pretty well. Now, I didn't think it was possible to get under 6 minutes. I mean, like, it was almost a perfect run there. Like, it was a perfect run. I mean, I had done everything correct. I'd run as fast as possible. There wasn't anything I'd done wrong or lost any sort of time on. And so 6:17 seemed like the fastest time possible. But yet, apparently, this user called Green Flame, shout out to Green Flame, whoever or wherever they are, I don't know them, but was able to get under 6 minutes. And I was doubtful. Like, maybe you could get it. Like, maybe you could shave off like 7 seconds, maybe. But like, there's a limit to how fast you can run those chickens, and there's a limit to how fast you can move those blocks. And I was very, very skeptical. And I ran at 6 minutes, 17 seconds. I just didn't see any way I could improve my time to go any faster. But then I had an idea, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to figure out for yourself. But there was a certain article of clothing that I could put on, which would boost my speed, and that was what I needed. That, and then I had a few more extra shortcuts I could take in pushing the blocks. I didn't need to push one block, and I could be a little more careful with how I pulled and pushed some of the other blocks. And then in the parkour part, I could be a little bit more careful with how I jumped, and then you could skip the little platform in the last level and just double jump right up. And then I got this run. I really quickly want to point out here, and this was the only thing I was not aware of. Shout out to Sakura for telling me this shortcut. But you can see that there's this empty spot right to my left there. If you run really fast and cut the corner sharp, you can get through there before the little gate goes up. And that'll still save you about 10 seconds. So if you see my final time at the end of this and then subtract 10 seconds, I believe that's possible. Yeah, all right, we'll continue on now. All right, so you can see I not only got under 6 minutes, I got down to 5:53. And if I had taken that extra shortcut, I bet I could have gotten down to probably 5:40, I imagine. So that was incredible. Just seeing how much more adding that one piece of clothing does adds a lot more movement speed. But the problem with that is it also made the chickens harder just because you're going so much faster, and the chickens oftentimes don't go at the same speed, and so it's kind of this jerky thing. So it was a lot more tricky, and it honestly took me like 30 probably tries at the maze before I was finally able to get this attempt. But anyways, 5:53 was a really, really good time. I was really, really excited about it. I did a little victory dance afterwards, probably kind of corny, but anyway, that's all I had for you guys today. As always, make sure to subscribe and like. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I said that at the beginning of the video. I'm saying that now. I'm pretty close, actually. I think we can actually make it. As always, party on.